Good evening, namaste, sat sri akal, hello. I'm your host and moderator S.S. Chandhok, and welcome to the next episode of the S.S. Chandhok Talk Show. As we were discussing that the educationalists, they have a lot of responsibilities on them. It may be a teacher, it may be a principal, it may be a director or the management. A lot of responsibilities have to be taken care of. A lot of decisions have to be taken on. The main aim of the S.S. Chandhok Talk Show is that we talk about all these things which we are doing inside the school. We talk about the relevant topics and we discuss and we interchange our ideas about these topics only. As an educationalist, whoever is watching, I request them, don't give a like. Go and give a like at the Instagram or Facebook or on the LinkedIn. Just see the sessions. When you will listen to all these eminent guests, eminent leaders who are leading the schools, what problem they face, what type of situation they are in, and how do they deal it, how they are trying to do the best with the children, you will surely gain something from that. Thank you. So let's start up with the session. First of all, the eminent guest is Ms. Priti Sharma. Ma'am is principal of Mary Jesus Sacred Heart School from Ludhiana. She has done MA and B.Ed. She has experience of 10 years as principal of Jesus Sacred Heart School, Ludhiana, 70 years as a professional teacher, resource person to train teachers for modern education. Panelist and speaker is Many Show. She has got so many awards. Again, in this session, I will say sorry to all the guests because you have so much list to be explained, to be told, to talk about. So many awards you people, all the guests have got that I cannot speak about. All. It will take a day's time to introduce. So I'm again saying sorry that I'll take a small introduction of yours only. So welcoming Priti Sharma ma'am, we will like to know that, of course, Ludhiana, I told you, Ludhiana is my favorite city and it is an industrial city also. What is your experience as a principal in Ludhiana? And how do you face, because I know there are many big branded schools over there in Ludhiana. How do you face these challenges and competitions?
Sir, first of all, thanks for inviting me to the show. And it was really an unexpected question, first of all. In fact, when we talk about the schools, I always go after one motto, and that is everybody wants quality education. Everyone. Nowadays, parents are so well aware of the modern education policies, of co-curricular activities, of project-based learnings, and all those kind of things. So if you say that, whether it is a local school managed by local management, or it's a national level chain schools, or it is an international level school, whatever it is, people are now so well aware of what should be the modern education. So I keep myself competitive, just following the right attitude and right policies, what should be there for the children. And when people see the qualities in the children, the development in the children, and then you are leading everywhere. Ours is a local school which is managed by local management, and we create our resources ourselves, and we create such a high and competitive resources that it gives a challenge to other schools, that we are followed for many things. Let's see what Jesus is doing, and then the things are followed up. It is only because of a very high end team. People are also very well aware of what should be the quality of a teacher. Fine, if you have a high end team with you, if you develop your team with all the modern techniques, and you spend money to develop the team, you build a bond with the team, and that team build bond with the parents and with the children. I don't ever advertise. I very less advertise about the school. It's only the word of mouth which keeps on going in the market about the school. People talk about activities, people talk about our teaching methodologies and the policies, and we then slowly and slowly come to the top level. Fine. So I really believe
That's
that.
great, ma'am. That's great. That's great. And I'll be knowing that Jesus Sacred Heart School has a very good reputation. It's an old school and it has a very good reputation in Ludhiana. Thank you so much and welcome, ma'am, please. Next guest we have Mr. Rajendra Malwal. He is presently working as the principal with Bhagwati International School, Patan, that is in Ahmedabad. Sir hails from Uttarakhand and is a postgraduate in English with specialization in American literature. He has been head of English department with prestigious schools of the country like Gyansthali and Birla schools. He has even served one of the international players in education or Aga Khan Education Service India, an agency of Aga Khan Development Network, France, as a senior secondary school principal. As an instructional leader with fine administrative skills, Sir has left his indelible marks of excellence on all the organizations he had been associated with. He has a deep love for children and young people and loves their company more than anything else. He has a passion for adventure sports and has been team leader for various trekking expeditions to the Himalayas. That's great. Even during his tenure with MKGM, he headed many trekking camps to Nainital. It was his sheer love for nature that he was invited to address the first international conference on environment 2001, organized by Ministry of Environment, Government of India, New Delhi. He even participated in the third international conference on education leadership 2011, organized by IIT Delhi. He has been associated with Cambridge University as coordinator of Cambridge ESOL examination in India. During his teaching career, which spreads to more than 2 decades, he has been involved in different aspects of school administration like career counseling, adolescent education, teachers training, members for the staff selection committee for Birla and Ambuja schools, and members for school management committee. He has received letter of appreciation from Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India for excellent academic achievement of the institution under his able leadership. He is working with many other projects, which I'll stop. If I'll keep on telling you again, we have to keep the session till tomorrow. So, sorry, sir, I have shortened down your this profile. But, sir, it's just like आप तो सर छुपे रुस्तम निकले सर. आप tracking तक भी पहुंचे हुए सर. मतलब it is so good to hear. A principal is of a table and a chair, and you have been to Himalayas also.
Yeah,
that's
while
great,
listening
sir.
to your introduction of mine, I got into those nostalgic memories of those days. I felt that I'm still in that trekking suit and trekking mode. Thank you.
Great, sir. Great. Sir, please tell us something about your tracking career, how you felt that you should do this, and what had you done? Where, up to which level you have gone?
Basically, my teaching career, now I am into school leadership, but unlike these days, basically my school life and teaching career has been associated with boarding schools. So in boarding schools, especially these sports and curricular activities play a major role because of having some extra time with the students as well as for the school authorities. So these tracks and tours play an important role. So being a senior teacher, especially being a young teacher during those days, so I was much closer to the student, and finding that closeness, then the school suggested that if I could lead some trekking adventures. And basically I am from Uttarakhand region, so I was much aware about that region, and I loved and I wanted some regions to visit my hometown and take people there. So I wanted, basic purpose was that these children should know my hometown. So while trekking or while tours were decided, so I preferred that location. And there are many organizations actually which are into tours and trekking organizations, and they are non-profit organizations. So Aurobindo Ashram from Delhi is one of them. They have their facilities at Nainital. So they provide facility at very cheaper rates along with experts to help you in trekking and other mountaineering activities. So boarding school students are much interested to move out, unlike other students. So we decided that we should take, and once the tour was successful, and it used to be a very big number of students. Normally, none of my tours, I took around 7-8 tours during my association with that particular school. So
That's
every
great.
time there were more than 100 students in that camp, and ours used to be the biggest camp in that Arvind.
And sir, but moreover, you have a responsibility when you are taking up, students somewhere on excursion or tracking. So it's more dangerous.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I tell you very frankly, from schools we had been going to the excursions and all. The teachers had been going, so I was the last person to stand in the queue to go over there. We didn't wanted to visit, Goa or somewhere, or Kulu Manali or abroad or somewhere, Nasa, anywhere. I was the last person to go. I don't want to go free of cost and visiting over there. But hats off to you that you had been doing this, as every principal does almost. Except me.
I really salute the organizations also that they had the faith on me. And these days, having that level of faith, especially for the school heads, is very difficult.
It's very difficult.
We cannot rely on people sending children to tours and all and having a comfortable, smooth sleep at night. So it was really a very tough job dealing with, especially the adolescent students of 11th and 12th who find this, especially of boarding background, those who find that tours and double a time for their all fun activities, because they find
this is also the reason that the students, they love the teacher throughout their life.
Yes, I feel, sir, that was the one. Even after leaving that organization, those children are well settled in life, but many of them, I feel that most of them are still connected through social media.
That is there. So like the teachers come and say that teachers come and say that students don't respect now. We used to respect our students, our teachers and all. Students do respect now also. You don't get respect, you have to earn your respect.
Yeah.
So and what have you given to them? That is the most important.
Involvement with the kid is one of the
very important. Very important.
Getting respect.
You have to be very friendly with them, keeping the distance also. That is there. Thank you, sir. I'm very proud. I'm very thankful to you that you are over here today, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Next, we have Dr. Priti Ahuja, ma'am. Priti Ahuja, ma'am. I'm so sorry. Ma'am has such a big record that I had to cut it down into a very small and very small brief profile. Sorry, ma'am. She is a mentor, passionate facilitator, co-learner, and teacher coach. She has an experience of 19 years in school profile, starting her career as a primary teacher, and today serving as a principal is a journey with endless stories. She is a graduate and postgraduate and in computer science, Pune University. She completed B.Ed, M.Phil, and PhD in computer science, and a zeal to acquire the theoretical moorings of training and teaching. She has received n number of awards, which has taken my 4 pages of printing. That she has received so many awards. I'm so sorry again, ma'am. She has written many articles in the Hindustan Times. I suppose ma'am has written many articles for the Hindustan Times. She has conducted many sessions as speaker. She has conducted more than 100 workshops for teachers, leaders, and other stakeholders in the education sector within India as well as abroad for core skills. 100 word action research, UK generation, CEDX speaker, NEP 2020 for PPP model, Rock Sports panel, Career Beacon, and n number of associations and n number of things ma'am have done. Ma'am, you have done so many things. We just want to know that how did you started up your career as a teacher or as a principal, and what motivated you to do all this?
So I was from a family background where my father had to move from one station to another. Coming from that background, change was always an excitement in my life. I was so much habitual to move around, know new languages, meet new people, and understand the culture, that I always wanted to get into a profession where I keep meeting different kind of people at different intervals. So when I started as a coder, which was a dream of my parents for me to join computer science and become something with technology-led profile, where I was living my parents' dream. And suddenly when I got an opportunity to live my own dream, I thought, let me join school. School, teachers, and children bring so much of smile, excitement, and energy that you wouldn't find in any other profession other than school. So this was one place where I always wanted to be. I thought that this is one place where I can let children know that computer science is not a syllabus in a book. it is a tool. And pandemic has very clearly given as an example, you teach any subject, you need this tool. So this is how actually I wanted this entire profile of mine to look forward in education sector. And so I joined schools as a primary teacher.
That's great, ma'am. That's great. And we had been knowing because I'm quite associated with the Delhi principals also. They keep on, because yours is also a DPS, Delhi International School. So now the 3-4 types of DPS schools have come into being, but DPS International School of Dwarka, I come to know that it is doing very good under your leadership, ma'am. Hats off to you. Welcome, ma'am.
So my school name is Delhi International School.
Yeah, I told Delhi International School only, I said, and it is also doing very well under your guidance, ma'am. It's not only the name of the school, it is about the leader. We have very good team. We have this, we have that. And even if I have, sometimes I have any, discussions or any interview with the managements or any talks with the management, because I had been to the affiliation, I had been talking to many managements also. So I do tell them that the leader should be very good. Whatever the flows are there in the team, that all will be settled if the leader is very good. You should not compromise with the quality in any wise, standard wise or salary wise. You should not compromise, because if the leader is weak, if the leader is not good, your team will be nothing for nothing.
Absolutely.
So that is very important. That is there, man, when the leader like you is over there and he's heading the school. Because in Delhi, especially in Dwarka, there are many schools. You also have to look after your schools, as well as you have to face all the competitions also. Because the parents, they compare. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming.
Thank you.
Next, we have Dr. Abhirup Sahu. Sir is MA, BEd, PhD. He is principal of ABS Oxford International School, Odisha. He is a resource person of CBSE. He is treasurer in Sahodaya School Complex, Eastern Odisha. He is also president, Private School Children Welfare Association, Cuttack District. He is honorary advisory member of SPA India also. There are many other things which sir has also given as. He is associated with many associations. He has been conferred with many, these awards on national and international level. First of all, sir, I'd like to tell you, sir, I am also the district president of Kanpur of this private school association also. So we are connected. As I told that we are somewhere here or there. SPA also, they wanted to connect with me. I think I wasn't able to connect with Mr. Arora. Mr. Arora also. I had a contact with him also around 3-4 years back also. He was interested to join over there. I didn't got time or whatever it was. So what it is like, we are associated with some of the associations, this or that wise, 2 to 3 associations. So sir, I just like to ask you that because we are from, this part of the country, so we want to ask you that what is the education system in Odisha? How, about the language, about the English level, about the school standard. Please let us know.
Thank you so much for the brief introduction. Once again, good evening to all the learned panelists today. Actually, I'm very much pleased to have with you in this meeting this evening. Regarding the education, I can say my school is in a remote area in the district of Cuttack in Odisha. It is away from 50 kilometers away from Cuttack town area, completely remote area where children even do not feel comfortable to go to the school, right? So here, regarding any kind of skill you can see in our school, we are having each and every kind of facility that you can find in a school which is located in the heart of a city. We are having horse riding, which is not expected in a rural area. And particularly, we give priority to physical education apart from academics. And most of the renowned schools are here, but not in between a radius of 50 kilometers. I can know the name Sai International School or any other like that, DPS, DAV, many DAVs are here also in the same group of institution. Still, our school is striving forward. We are having a good strength in the locality. 3 or 4 affiliated schools over here. Out of this, our school is having good strength, having good ability any children? With reference to
great.
your question regarding your English language speaking, it's not a barrier. Though the school is in a rural area, most of the children are excelling. They are taking part in different kinds of inter-school competition, also doing better in different external examination like Olympiads or something like that. They are having curiosity, and it's needed that every teacher has to be a leader to tap that potentiality, and a leader who is leading all the leaders has to take that initiative. And
Absolutely.
I'm striving forward for that.
Absolutely right, sir. Absolutely right. That's off to you, man. It's very difficult to work in remote areas. I had been in, say, Anandram, Jaipuria, Hamirpur branch as a principal. Hamirpur is 60 kilometers away from Kanpur.
Yeah.
And it is difficult to work in remote areas, especially when you go up with affiliations and all. Right. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. Welcome to you. And then we have Dr. Divya Basin, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. She's the principal of Saraswati Vidya Niketan, Ambala, Kent, Haryana. She's a CBSE resource person, national coordinator for SIETIE, certified psychologist and graphologist, guest speaker at various platforms. And that too, I have been seeing, ma'am, that you are a guest speaker also. And I think you put up some videos on YouTube also, I've seen. So you have a keen interest over that. You are very socialized. I've been seeing that you are working up with many NGOs also. Many things you have not written in your, in your resume and brief profile also. So I know because I peep it into everybody's window and I check out what the people are doing and how they are so much talented. And Ambala is a big city in Haryana. It is whenever you have to pass to Ludhiana for Kirti ma'am, so you have to pass through Ambala. So one of my, my sister's son has been married there in Ambala. So his in-laws are there in Ambala Kent only, in SBI colony, I suppose. SBI colony they are. So Ambala is now become more favorite for us. And when I came to know that Ambala Kent school is this, and when I saw your profile, ma'am, that you're working so good in your, in particular area, you are into all the big associations on national and international levels. You yourself are conducting so many sessions and you keep on posting something about on YouTube. Ma'am, please tell us the latest development, what you have started up with. Everybody would like to know about that.
Very good evening, Mr. Singh, for this beautiful introduction, and equally a pleasant evening to all the students of education. I, being very naive into this field, though I am an educator for the past 16 years, but as far as my administrative career is concerned, I have been a principal only for the past 2 years. So I have much to learn from people like you. But as Mr. Singh has rightly pointed out, that I have been working with many organizations, and the main among them, that is an international organization from Varanasi. We are basically working for establishing STEM centers all over across the country, sir. And we have collaborated with as far as 9 countries around the globe. And speaking, and I really feel very honored when you called on this show, because reading itself is my passion as well. Whenever I get time, so it was like a dream come true for me, because whatever I have learned all through my career, that is only because of reading. And as you just asked about the recent development, what am I doing right now? So because of the pandemic right now, I'm just trying to bring things back to normal, because as such, principal has a huge responsibility to look after. So, and basically, sir, because though Ambala is a big town, but we have to cater to rustic crowd, where the children, they don't have any access to proper resources. So there are huge learning gaps as well. So bringing those children back on track, those who don't have resources, and where the parents, they are not so educated. So I think this is the prime responsibility that I'm looking after right now.
That's great, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. And we had been looking forward for your coming, and Kirti ma'am coming from last many days. Thank you so much. Not taking more time, we'll start up with a little discussion, a question type of rounds. We'll have a little 1 or 2. First question is for Kirti ma'am. The first question for you is that what is your personal experience with reading?
Sir, personally, I am really an advocate of reading, and I do really read books a lot. And if I talk about my personal experiences, whenever I was depressed in my life, when I was stressful in my life, or I needed somebody who can advise me unbiasedly, I refer to book. A lot of self-help books and life coaching books have been my favorites. And I feel like whenever I read the words of author, I feel like that author is sitting in front of me and advising me to do something and not to do another thing. It looks like a guru in front of you. Many people like us, like we cannot just keep on sitting with everybody around and share our problems because of some social status attached to us, and because of some role and responsibilities we are carrying on. We just cannot share our burdens which are there on our head and heart with everybody around, not even with our closest of friend circles, because you are always aware of your status in the society. So that had been a very personally, I had been feeling that I always resort to books. And whenever I read the book, I make it a point to take notes out of it. The way the students make note of an academic book, I make notes of a reading book. Why do I do that? So that whenever you are to refer to those things again, which had hit you in your head and which had hit you in your heart, you can refer to those points again, and you can rectify yourself. You can train yourself. So it's a kind of self training for you. And I have a lot simmered down all my negative emotions and all my negativity in myself through these reading books. I do remember once I was reading a book like Who Moved My Cheese, a very simple book by Dr. Spencer, right? Very simple book. And the way that book had been a guiding factor for me, that till today, whenever I feel like that something is going away from me, I don't panic. I don't start holding it, right? And it has been a contribution of that book. Similarly, there are so many books which I had been a guiding factor. I feel like that I have so many gurus around me that whenever I get deviated from my path, these books comes as an aid to me, and these books comes as a help to me. The most important thing is that it also magnifies your imagination and your creativity. And whenever the imagination and creativity is magnified, it decreases the stress level of we all know that our cognitive domains then gets activated, right? It decreases your depression level, and it decreases your stress level. Why I am able to put up a face in front of my team, in front of my teachers, in front of my students, management, I'm always able to put up a good face in front of them, because I have so many books at my back end who are giving me a support to stand up every day, face a word with a nice smile, and not to burden yourself also with so many thoughts, and not to burden others also with your thoughts. And I am known as one of by my team, I'm known as one of very easygoing person. Why is it that? It is only because of books. Because whenever you listen to the problems of somebody, I connect it to the whatever I have read in a book through some story, and then I am able to provide a solution to everyone. So these self-help books have been personally been a guru to me. All the authors have been guru to me, and which have kept my life stress-free and mess-free, I would say.
That's great. That's great, Prem. It is a saying that the books are your best friend.
Yeah.
Books are your best friend. That is more important. And I will also like to introduce Sochitra Vijaym ma'am. She's a community manager with the Club One PR program at Stones to Milestone. She holds a master degree in English literature. She switched career to indulge in her love for writing and communication. She passionately believes in reading and wants every child to benefit from the power of reading. What the theme of the this discussion or the panel discussion or the show is that we try to find out people from the education industry also, that how they can help us. So this talking about, when I was talking to Suchitra ma'am also and the other heads also, we came to know that there are certain apps also in the industry where they are absolutely free of cost. And these apps they provide, because what we face is that if we want as LSRW in this, when we talk about reading, if we want to see that or that children should have the reading habit, especially from the pre-primary and primary level, we face problem. We forward it to the teachers, to the coordinators to get it done. Sometime it is done. When you are not looking into it, again, the teachers, they are not doing it. So we are also are in need of a systematic type of thing where we can see, or we don't have to check it again and again. So there are certain types of app also, because Club 1 VR means Club 1 billion readers. They have an aim of this, and they have an app called Freedom, where they have, I think, I will be talking about what is the features of that, how it is for sure, it is free of cost. So let's see what are the initiatives, because many things are into the market. We are into into education. We do not know what is happening in this world also, because the scenario has changed. Everything has become, online and everything. So we'll discuss about that. Welcome, ma'am. Sochitra ma'am, we'll come forward to you. And please, if you want to say something about you or your Club 1 VR.
Thank you so much, Chandhok sir. It's an honor to be in this meeting with so many principals. I have never been a mischievous child, but somehow the idea of going even near the principal's office used to make me very nervous. So I'm in the company of 6 principals today. So I really hope I don't get nervous again. So our Club 1 VR program, I will share more details as the show goes on. But I just want to say that the mission is to reach out to more children and give them more resources so that they are able to make reading a habit in their lives. That's all I want to say for now. I'll tell you more.
Thank you so much and welcome. Because as it is like that, you don't have to learn from someone, we learn from each other. Until the last breath we take, we have to learn. And we as a principals also, we haven't learned anything yet. I believe that I have not learned 10%, even I have to learn at least 90% more. So because we are expert, maybe a little bit expert, we are in our forte, but when we are talking about that side of the education industry, you people are doing something very good. Because when I came to know about this Club 1 VR, I came to know this is a very good thing. Of course, this is during pandemic time. The schools also do not want, the management do not want to spend money. At the very same time, when you are providing all these things at free of cost, training the teachers and giving free, this app where the teacher is also benefited, the child is benefited, the parent is benefited. We'll talk about that. Okay, let's coming back to Rajendra Malwal sir. I'll again come back to you, sir, and I will also like to know apart from expedition and you're going tracking. What is your personal experience with reading?
Yeah, sir, first of all, thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. Normally, we are the speakers and you are the one who is bringing all the speakers together, and it is much more challenging job. So I really appreciate, and after my introduction with you, I have just gone through your work on YouTube and it was really very encouraging. So I appreciate all your efforts and I'm really—
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you
for selecting this topic. And being an educator, I feel that reading is very close to our heart. And I feel happy that you have given me opportunity immediately after Mrs. Kirti Sharma. Otherwise, I would have said that my habit matches with all the speakers' habit, because normally readers have similar habits. As Mrs. Sharma said, that she reads, of course I read. She said that she makes notes, but instead of making note, I'm little bit lazy, ma'am. So I don't pick my pen except for making a sign or signing some document. So normally I use my computer, my laptop, or my PC. So what do I do? Instead of making note, of course, I love that important thing should be remembered. So I highlight or underline those things. And there are many wonderful lines we come across during our course of reading. So I underline them. I sometimes even collect those important pieces of information which I feel that I should quote while speaking to maybe the teachers or maybe in some conferences. So I sometimes make, these days I have learned making presentations. So sometimes certain books I note down some important points and make a presentation on that so that we can have a sort of book discussion or book review. So I feel that this can be done. And whereas reading is concerned, I love reading, but many a time it is said, I'm really worried. I read a lot, but sometimes people say that he's a bookworm. So I feel that I should not go into that tagline. Sometimes it happens that we don't realize because of too much being engrossed with the book, and we are ignorant of outside realities. So to bring myself in perfect line, what do? I change the topics of the books, or I change the subject of the book. So I read varieties of books. You will find sometimes I'm reading a comic, sometimes I'm reading some religious book, sometimes I'm reading some educational administration book, or sometimes I'm reading some teaching technology or teaching methodology book, so that I'm aware about all the changes in different parts or different spheres of life. So many a time it is said that reading makes people couch potatoes. So I'm sure that I ensure that I don't fall into that category. So with this, I do that, and then I'm into teachers training. So reading is a very important source of knowledge. If we ourselves are not well read, we will not get the idea. So for collecting those ideas, reading from different sources is very important. So I do that. And even these days, like though NEP has come into these days, it is a big buzzword, as you said. But if you find that reading has not been much emphasized there, except for that shuffle or these initial activities
Yes,
are there.
absolutely.
Now, we talk about 21st century skills, but there also reading is not paid much attention. But when we talk about 21st century skills, I feel that reading is the key element which will lead to success in all the areas, whether it is leadership skills. We cannot be good leaders unless or until we are well read. Or if you see the leaders of these days, they are all well read people. Or if you see that collaboration skill, if you see that problem solving skills, or any sort of skills you name, you will find that success in any of these key skill is reading. Unless or until we read, in spite of our exposure to the outside world, we will not be able to be good in those areas.
Sir,
So
I'll also add up one thing in what you said, sir. That you said na, ke, like time you don't feel like writing, you are very lazy. And during this pandemic time also, we are seeing that students also, children also, they don't want to write. They don't want to pick up a book and read. They have everything, because we used to use Oxford dictionary for finding out the word or meaning. Now
Right.
dictionary to is nowhere. Google Baba is there, so he finds out everything. Right, everything is there on Google. So what we have to do is, we cannot change the, we cannot change the children. They will change us, but we won't be able to change them.
yeah,
What we can do up is, what we
we
can do up is, sir, I can add up, like because I was also looking when I was starting up with this series this season. So I was looking up for a particular thing in the industry. Like, we met up with the Club 1 BR people, Sochitra ma'am and all. We saw that, okay, this is a very good thing where they have stories where the children can read. And they also told me, I'm sharing it before she says, that you come to know that how many minutes a child has read. As a child doesn't want to pick up a book and read, it's okay. He can open up any story of his choice, audio or audio visual, and they can look into that. That very wonderful things are over there. Yes, sir.
That's what I wanted to add. These days, I think reading or book reading is different, sir. Reading does not mean that you read from the book. These are now, time has changed. Ours
Yes,
was
sir.
the time when these things were not available. There are, maybe a child may not be opening a book, but still he must be reading. So we should
Right.
ensure that, because purpose of school educators or teacher is to encourage students to read, but it may not be necessarily be reading book. They can read online, they can
Yes,
read
sir.
some online
Yes,
books,
sir.
they can read audio visual, they can study through PPT or different modes are there. Sometimes even these days ebooks are there, those which are available in audio form. Many a time
Yes,
I
sir.
read books does not mean that I just open a hard copy of the book and read. There are, as you were talking about the electronic version of books, there are many electronic apps available which can be downloaded on mobile. And one of them is this booklet guy. I don't know whether you are aware. It is one of the very, very important or very famous among book readers. And I have downloaded that. I would recommend that others can also read. It
Yes,
is
sir.
available in audio format also. If you
Yes,
want
sir.
to read directly, you read it in words, or otherwise there is one recorded version of those books also.
Right,
So
sir.
I
Right, sir.
recommend sometimes students, they may not love directly reading. So especially
Yes,
when
sir.
you are reading through mobile or laptop, it is better to listen.
Yes, sir.
So
Audio visual both.
those habits can be developed among students,
Yes,
and
sir.
I'm sure that they will improve their reading habits with these techniques.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable views. Then I'll come to Priti Ahuja, ma'am. Ma'am, your next question is for you, that why do you recommend reading at the primary level?
So I feel that at the primary level, the mindset of the child is ready to accept a lot of things in life, and they are absolutely open to learning. There is not too much of content in their minds, and their thought process can be created with curiosity and generate a various kind of pattern. Like, for example, when I was in South, Sulur, Coimbatore, the children weren't able to speak in English or maybe in Hindi, but they were very easily able to learn Tamil, because I saw that what is that makes them do this at such a young age. We struggle with English to teach them in the school. We struggle to teach them Hindi in the school. We struggle to make them read in the school. So what happens that makes them do all this at such a young age? So it is basically what you model around them, what you allow them to do at a very young age and provide them with conditioning. They will grasp it early. When the children start reading at an early stage, starting from alphabet to word and then a sentence and few lines, you will see them that they will start reflecting after reading, and they will get time to think. When children read, they are in isolation with their thought, rightly told by Ms. Kirti, that they also start thinking around it. And thinking is essential to go near critical thinking. We all read with numerous amount of information and knowledge, but the ones who critically think are the ones who are actually reading from various resources. Reaching to various resources is not only your curiosity, but also should become like a habit. For example, when you are a young child and you're always glued to watching audio visuals, you will mostly try, when you become an adult, also understand things through audio visual. You wouldn't get too many audio visuals around you, but a very handy way of moving around is a book with information in text, and you can easily read it. In fact, being from a technology, I feel reading vertically, a very technical aspect, reading vertically on the screen also distracts the mind. We basically think most of the things horizontally. So when a book is read from the format that it is written, it usually allows us to think broader, and it allows the children, especially, I'm sure Ms. Suchitra will help me here to understand that when you have text which are bigger in size for younger children, the grasping power is higher. And when you have that curiosity to go closer to such kind of alphabets and letters, you start understanding the need of it in your daily life when you're conversing. So children start questioning, comprehending, and thinking and asking various kinds of questions. I usually see parents getting a little disturbed with a lot of questions coming from my child. I think that's a blessing to that child and those parents who get such kind of children who question because they have read, they have some information. Now they want further more information. So it helps them to engage their mind with substantial learning for future. I think that's how it will build them to a better learner when they grow up. You're on mute, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And your views are so, incited that we are very happy to hear about that. And the same thing I'll like to ask Abhiram Sahu, sir, that why do you recommend, reading at primary levels?
See, all of us know that reading is the most important component of learning. Without reading, no one can expect from the child that he or she can excel in other parts. Many other parts are invited along with this practice of reading. Reading practice always generates the ability in a child how to write in a proper way, how to think in a proper way, how to speak in a proper way. So these three different skills, they are followed up by the practice of reading. Before going into the question, what you have asked me, what you recommend for grade 2 or grade 3 or grade 5 primary classes, I would like to take you all to the history of reading. As an educator, we should know what is the history of reading. When print technology came for the first time in European continent, you can find the history that how the reading had a great impact on the society. Before the print technology came, there was hearing public. Whatever public used to listen from others, used to hear from others, accordingly they are guiding their socioeconomic life and leading their political life. But when print technology came, chapbooks, magazines, newspapers flooded in the market. A reading mania was created. That reading mania came immediately after the print technology was developed in European continent. And that created a sensation in the society, brought a reformation. It is because of the reading habit of the people in the past. The history shows that the reading ability of the common people brought changes in the society. So from that perspective, as an educator, we can understand the importance of reading. Reading is not only important for the children reading in school, even it is important for children reading in college, not reading, even for all age category of people.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir. Say, please, please.
To the question, I can come down to your question. Yes, I recommend reading must be mandatory for primary grades. See, if we go for a mandatory activity, reading activity, particularly for class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 5, 20 minutes, if we are giving an activity, may it be loud reading or silent reading, may it be reading in chorus, or may it be individual reading, taking few children in a group, that can initiate, that can generate the interest among the pupils to read, and that practice can be kept in them when they will grow up, when they will be mature, even if they will keep this habit. And from this habit, everything will be in a line. That means what I told, the skill of understanding the content, the skill of writing the content, and the skill of speaking the content in coherence.
That's great, sir. That's great. Thank you so much, sir, about your experience and about telling us about the history of reading also. I mean, this is the session in which we have talked about the history of reading also. Thank you so much. Next question is for Divya ma'am. I'd like to ask you that why, is reading really essential for excellence in academics?
So basically, what I think for reading is we can easily differentiate children into two categories. The elementary stage, this is where the children, they should be taught how to read. That is learning to read. If they learn how to read well, then later on they can read to learn. So as far as their reading habit, improving their academic part also, I really agree, because for the past 2 years, since the schools, they were shut down and online classes were going on, if the children, they had, like my daughter also, she had inculcated love for reading. So I think for such children, it's not a difficult thing to steer through. I mean, if the children, they know how to read well, they can easily grasp the content. As far as their EVS, SST, science, that is concerned, I do agree for science and mathematics. But for the other subjects, if you see, if the child loves to read, then definitely he can excel in academics. So I really feel it okay that if the children, they know how to read well, they can certainly do excel in academics as well.
That's great, ma'am. That's great. Because we say that children, if the habit from the very beginning, what we say or everybody says is that from the pre-primary at least, this habit should come into the child. where they are having this habit from the, from their home only. It's not like reading is reading in English only. It may be in Hindi or any regional language also. The people had been telling, like S.K. Rathore sir was saying that my father was not knowing English, so he used to read Hindi newspaper. So every day from since my birth, I've seen that he's studying, reading Hindi newspaper or reading something. So my education, he said, my education started from reading only. Because everybody, all the eminent guests, they have said that we know very well that reading is, because of all of these four things, LSRW, reading is very important. If we are reading, the imagination will increase. So here, what thing is that the parents have a lot of expectations from the school only. Like I said, now that we have so much responsibilities and we have to do this and that, because at the places or at home, if there is no, facility for reading, nobody reads at home, and you have to make their child reading habits. So parents say that you do it everything, we don't want to cooperate. It has to be done everything by the school. We have deposited the fees and whole responsibilities of the school. So many responsibilities comes on the head of the school, and on the head of the school, and the head of the school also has principal, that we have to do everything. At the very same time, we also have to make our team, our teachers also, that they have to take care of that also. Okay, that the children have the
Sorry
habit
for
of reading.
interrupting. Many a times I come across people, they ask me that how could you inculcate the reading habit in your daughter? Because I believe children, they don't do what you say, they do what they see. As I am myself a voracious reader, so I have seen that automatically she has inherited.
It happens. That is there. But problem is there with the inheritance, not there. Where the parents are not a good reader, they don't read, or they are illiterate. There also our responsibilities that we have to look after everything. There, what the other guests also have said earlier also, that classroom libraries are there. Instead of bringing chocolates on the birthday, the children have to should gift a book to the class. Like one more session was over there, like we have in episodes or serials, that at the time when a climax comes over, there that says that we'll see tomorrow. Like so many serials that Anupma and all the serials, they come, it happens कि कुछ होने वाला होता है, बिल्कुल exactly climax आता है तो कहते हैं कल देखेंगे. So there is an excitement. Likewise, the teachers can also do. The teachers can do is, if they are from the very starting, if they are telling any story to the pre-primary and primary students, they should start up at the place where there is climax. Okay, ma'am, what happened after this? Ma'am, bataiye, please tell. We'll study tomorrow. You just think over what can happen. Their imagination will work till tomorrow. Their imagination will work. And they'll go to home and discuss with the mother, and they'll discuss with their pair, that is brothers and sisters also. So the story, what do you suggest, what will happen? So next they are interested. This way what happens is that teachers, they start up doing this. First they read, then they tell that student to read it. You have to understand that. So imagination power, reading habits, all this can be inculcated among the the students. But at the very same time, the teacher should be cooperative. Teacher has never studied, didn't had any reading habit in her career or in her studying career, so she can also start that. Of course, we cannot move into all the classes. We have to get it done from the teachers. We have to get the cooperation of all the stakeholders, that is the parents as well as the teachers. Thank you so much, Diva ma'am. Suchitra ma'am, coming up to you, because you had to be a problem solver. We have a lot of responsibilities. Just we have finished up with the results with 1.5 months. So much harassment we had with CBSE and everything. And we also have to look up so many things. We have become clerks. We have become everything. So we, as we find out you, we invented you, of course, I'll say this word, that you are the savior, that you can save and tell us that, or let us know what is there in Club VR. I mean, particularly this Freedom app.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So while I have been listening to everyone sharing their experiences with reading and how they feel that reading helps, I am also a voracious reader. I have been a bookworm, and like as Rajendra sir was saying, it's not a good thing to be, but I came from a family where they were like, okay, it's better for you to sit with a book in your hand on the couch rather than sit in front of the TV on the couch. So book reading was a very normal thing, and I discovered much later in life that it's not something that everybody enjoys or that everybody is even aware of. for a lot of people, reading is something, it's like a hobby. They consider reading to be a hobby. They don't consider it to be a skill that you need to develop. But as an organization, we are very passionate about the English language and the global exposure that being exposed to the English language can give you. And we believe that the exposure starts with, reading in its many forms. So Club 1BR, our mission is to reach out to 1 billion readers by 2025. It's a very ambitious target that we have set for ourselves, but we feel that, with the support of all the educators in the country, with the support of like-minded teachers and principals, we can make this happen. So Club 1BR is basically, it's a free program that is open to all schools that believe that reading can really impact a child's life. And through the program, we provide many things, but the main, I would say, focal point is our app. It's called Freedom, and it's spelled READOM. It's FREADOM. We also have a blog on why it's FREADOM and not FREEDOM. We have had people tell us, guys, you're talking about English, but you have a spelling mistake in your app's name. It's not a spelling mistake, it's intentional. So the idea is that the app is specifically targeted towards the younger children, towards, age group of 3 to 12. And the idea is to introduce them to the world of reading through a variety of stories, and also add in, we also have audio and audio visual stories. It is not limited to just a text, because we understand that, each child has a different way of absorbing information. Not every child likes to read. Some of them like to listen, some of them like to watch it happen. So the app has about, currently we have about 2,500 plus stories on the app. We also have English activities, so that those children who are like, they enjoy learning through doing rather than learning through reading, also have a scope of learning on the app. And we also have a buzz section where on a daily basis there is a current news article that is updated. But the effort is to ensure that this is something that is interesting to a child rather than what we would read as adults in a newspaper. The the section has something like trivia. So every day there is an update about something in the animal kingdom, or some technological advancement, or something that's happened in science. And the effort is made to communicate it in such a way that even the younger children can understand what is being said, rather than I remember as a child being told that if you want to improve your English language, you should pick up the newspaper and read. You should read the newspaper every day to improve your language. But I don't think any of us want to hand over today's newspapers to our children. It's not really anything that we want them to read. So the attempt is to show them that you can learn new things through reading also, and give them a variety of content so that they feel like they have a choice, and they're doing it by choice rather than, oh my God, they've just forced this on me and now I have to read.
It is just like that you have the few number of books in the library and you read that only. It's not like that. You have all varieties, fiction and action and comedy, and every type of stories are over there. But the main concern of our is that how can we, how the teachers can check over that, or how can we tell the teachers to check up that how much reading is going on with the children?
I'm so glad you brought that up, sir. So major part of the Club 1BR program is that we give you up-to-date data on the reading that the children in your school are doing. So every school in the Club 1BR program, they get their own detailed reading reports for the children. So you can use these reports to figure out if a specific grade is doing really well in reading, or if a specific grade needs more help, or maybe if you have like the form teacher system, and if one particular grade is doing really well, that the teacher is doing something to make sure that the children are reading more. And
Right.
this thing is that, rather than just assuming or saying, okay, it must be going well, we give you data to show that this is how the program is working in this.
That's great. That's great, ma'am. That's it, ma'am. Thank you so much. Next, we'll come to Kirti, ma'am, again. Ma'am, we need to know that who needs to be empowered more to encourage the child to read, parents or the teacher? That is a very big, a question, that whom should we take over, the teacher or the parents? Please let us know.
Sir, personally, I always keep parents at a higher ranking, because teachers are facilitators only for a shorter duration of their life, and the children, they are with your parents right before the birth, and then the birth of the child, and then the child's academic seasons, right? So the longer duration is the association of a child and the parent. We teachers are just a facilitator in between their lives to give them something meaningful. Let me just take you to the older times when the women used to be pregnant. She was always suggested to read something good, and at that particular point of time, it used to be religious books, which many of our women used to do. So in those days, why the values were too high? Just because of very strong reading by the women of all the good books, and then when she used to read it, it used to get absorbed by the child when the child is in her womb. And then whenever the child used to come up, like in the world, there used to be grandparents to tell them all the beautiful stories of all valuable and moral based stories. So the reading for developing the habit of the reading, and to make a child a useful member of the society, I think parents play a very important role. And this reading habit will only develop if the parents encourage the child to do this. Very well said by Divya ma'am, that my daughter is a voracious reader because I am a reader, first of all, right? So through this show, I would like to appeal to all the mothers and fathers that instead of just scrolling on the social websites of their mobile phones, or just to keep on hooking themselves with the Facebooks, have a family reading time. And that family reading time will be able to help you connect to the child. The bonds will be strengthened. Why is it said that everybody in the home pick up a phone and then keep on engaging themselves with the phone? Even if you pick up a phone, at least you read a common story which is there on the apps, as said by Sochitra ma'am, right? There can be a common story read by everybody, and then there can be a talking session. One of the mothers, she project, I don't know only what to talk to my child, because he does not share. Most of the teenage problems, our adolescent problems will get away if there is a family reading time in the homes, because there are a lot many unsaid emotions, there are a lot many unsaid problems which are going with our children, and those unsaid problems they don't want to share. This is a very common problem in our families now, that they don't want to share with their mother, they don't want to share with their father, because they don't want to get burdened with heavy lectures from them, right? So therefore, this family reading time always plays a very important role in the development of the child. Child will learn how to express. Even if a child is an introvert child will at least learn how to find out solutions to his problems.
Right.
And we have been always talking about storytelling as a pedagogy of our teaching. We are picking up those strategies which used to be a part of our heritage, which used to be a part of our old education system. So this storytelling will always will be always helpful in design thinking, and that design thinking will solve so many problems of our world. And here, why I don't put up teacher on a higher ranking, because a teacher always has a focus of academic standards, right? And yes, moral standards is also very important part of our school, but I think parent can devote more time. We can share the responsibilities. A
Yeah.
teacher can devote more time for the academic standards, and parent can devote more time for their moral standards. And imagine a beautiful person in a society who has been a good reader through a good parent who were good readers. He will be academically also so of a higher standard, and morally also of a
Yes, ma'am.
highest standard. So
I'll
always keep
second
the
with you,
parent
ma'am.
at a high
I'll second with you. The most important thing, what I sum up with your saying is that the parents are not giving time to their kids, their children. They don't sit together. They don't take even dinner together. They don't talk to each other. If we have seen that ladies that they've given birth to a child, a 1-year child is holding a mobile and doing something because she should not disturb mama. Mama is talking to someone, mama is having a kitty party, or whatever it is. They give the mobile to the child, and after that they depend that my child is like this, my child is like that. When you are not giving time to a child, the child won't talk to you anything, won't share anything with you, have fear and everything. So the most important thing above everything is that the parents should give the time to the child. They should talk to him or her every day. It may be mother or father. One person at least should be there who should be very frank with the child. That's great. Now, Rajendra sir, will you like to add something into this, please?
Yes, sir. I like your question was who is more
Parents or
who is
or
more
teachers?
in promoting reading habits among parent
Yes, sir.
among students, parent or the teachers. I feel that responsibility is for both, but teachers being expert in the field, they can play a larger role there, because they are expert. Especially it is expected from them. And secondly, parent has important role, but many a time, as ma'am said, that there should be reading corners or reading time, family reading time, but maybe it is not practically possible for people from all walks of life. Of course, we are into education. Our business is related to reading, so we read, but it may not be possible for all the parents. Of course, they should try. If they cannot read, at least they should pretend to read. They should have atmosphere at home to read. They should provide enough books. At least there should be one newspaper for every family. If they have kids in the school age, they should have newspapers. And I recommend that, even as a school principal, I often talk to my parent and tell them that you get an English newspaper if it is an English medium school, if it is available. Many a time English newspaper may not be available in remote areas, so language is not a problem. Whereas reading is concerned, they can get newspapers in their local language, and one magazine or one book, or especially a periodical or monthly magazine, can be subscribed on the child's name, so that he will feel happy. The postman every month comes and delivers a book on his name, so he will read. And there can be some age appropriate magazines at home which parent can read, and even children can be shared with. This will be a parent's role. And teachers play a major role, because teachers most of the time they are related with academic activities, so they can promote. And children learn more by observing their teachers. If they find teachers are reading, many a time problem with us is that these days even teachers don't read. I'm sure that you will agree, other than
Yes.
reading their course related material. So teachers should be motivated to read other material, to read some other things to related to current affairs or general knowledge or the international affairs, so that children watch them and see what teacher is reading, and they get more interested in those things what teachers do. And
Yes,
even
sir.
in the classroom, there can be certain book reading activities. There can be certain activities which directly or indirectly promote reading. Even some
Yes, sir.
debates, discussions can be organized in the class, which will force children without telling. Though teacher may not tell always directly read books, but there can be certain things for which they will be compelled to read. Even if some discussion session is organized in the class in some current topics, I'm sure that children may not be very much aware. Even if they know, they will be compelled to read little extra, so that they can outsmart other students in the class. So this can be a teacher's role. And one of the important thing, I feel that even telling, many a time preaching does not work. Children learn more by what they observe. So
Yes,
teachers
sir.
simply should not say anything. They should start reading themselves. And I'm sure that atmosphere of the school, atmosphere at home will change. And even sometimes parent can be directly advised to read certain books which may be related to parenting skills, which can be related to
Yes, sir.
career options, so that
So,
they will also, maybe in long go, they will also be promoted or prompted to read. So
so
I
one
think
thing more we can do, but like
Yeah.
what you said, idea came into my mind also, that
Yes,
we should have a reading, or what do you call that, storytelling period,
yeah,
the once in a week or twice in a week, especially from this PG, the nursery to class grade 6 at least, because these are the basic year where the children, if they have the habit of reading, then you don't have to look after them. They won't live without reading. And when they won't live without reading, they will get success in academics and everything. So what we can do, I think, is you will also second with me that my opinion that we can have a period of reading where the teachers should, in starting, should tell them stories, and stories should stop at the climax, and they should wait for 1 day or 2 day or 3 days when again the reading period will come, and then we'll talk about that. After a few weeks, what should be done is that the child should be said that better from this particular app or from this particular book you will read, you will come and you will tell us the story. Half part, this part you will tell, next part you will tell. So
Agreed.
when the interest from the teacher will come into the child, then the child will very interesting come. I have to, because these the young ones, they don't want to spoil their reputation in front of the teacher. They will do anything. They will go against the parents also. Okay, we want reading. Mama, what are you doing? I'm reading from a book, from an app, or from any story I'm reading. And this story, particular story, I have to explain it in the class. So that child will try to listen to that and try to understand that. And when this will be done by all the children at the rotation. So basically, I think is we should put up 1 or 2 periods in a class for reading only. What you call it, storytelling. That will be a better option.
And
Right.
one more experience, sir, with this reading, I realize reading is a kind of addictive activity. So I tell parent many a time, okay, parent may not be good reader, or they may not have, most of the time parent complain that they don't have time because of their professional life. So
Yes,
I
sir.
tell them that at least ensure that your child, force your child to read for 1 week forcefully. And once he reads 1 week, I'm sure that he develops a kind of addiction, love for reading. Even the same advice I give my teachers and students also. If you don't love
Yes, sir.
reading, fine, there is nothing to blame, but force
Yes,
yourself to read for 1 week any favorite topic of or any favorite book of yours, and you will find that after 1 week you are developing a habit. And it does not take more than 1 week for a habit to develop and habit to go also. Many a time you
That
may
is
be a
there.
good
That is
reader,
there.
but if
But
you
the
don't
thing
read
is, sir.
for 1
But
week,
the thing is, sir. Parents do not cooperate. They many
Yeah,
a times they don't cooperate.
That's what I said,
They
sir.
say that हमारा बच्चा पढ़ाई पूरी कर ले, बहुत बड़ी बात है, और आप ये सब reading का क्या बोल रहे हो? My child is able to speak in English. English बोल लेता है, हम उसको reading क्यों कराएं? Here again the best is that we have to do everything. If we put up a period for 1 period or 2 periods for storytelling or reading, whatever it is, of course the child will start reading, and the child is that can change the parents also. At this age also they can tell the parents कि ये story मुझे पढ़ के बताइए, मुझे समझाइए, मुझे कल जाके class में सुनानी है. So there the parent will also come into the habit of reading, which has not done in his or her life, as well as the child will also have. And from the very basics, we're talking about nursery to grade 6, when the child will start up with this thing, well, it will accelerate, it will come into the habit of the child that I have to read. My parents don't have to say anything to me. My teacher don't have to say. I have a class. I have a period. I have to speak. One day this child has spoke. Next day is my turn. But the very next day is the turn of somebody else. So this is like when you have that sense कि मुझसे मैम story पूछेंगी. मुझे तो story नहीं भी पढ़ के जानी है. मुझे पढ़नी पड़ेगी. Impression नहीं खराब करना है. This is about the primary student. So that is why when they'll get into the habit, they'll get addicted to it. And they will have the habit of reading. Of course, the academics will also improve. That's great, sir. Nice talking to you.
Sorry
Priti
for
ma'am.
interruption, sir.
I'll come. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to add something. With
Yeah.
this perspective, only CBSE introduced novels in class 9th onwards.
Yes, ma'am.
But as just we were discussing that who is responsible for inculcating this habit, I think all the stakeholders need to be committed enough. Because what I have seen teachers, what they used to do just in a rush to complete the syllabus, they would just tell the students the whole story in one lot so that their syllabus is complete, because ultimately they also have to meet the deadlines. So
Yeah.
I think first of all, the teachers, they need to be counseled first. What we really want, intend to do. Then only I think we can expect some positive results.
Exactly. I'll come up to, thank you, ma'am. Priti ma'am, I'll come up to you. That can you identify if a child is a reader through interacting with him?
Of course. The
Ma'am, you're
minute you
muted.
start, am I audible now?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
When we talk to a child, we understand what the kind of a language the child is using, and the vocabulary does give a certain knowledge to the listener that the child has been reading. The other important aspect which I see is while they're talking, they have an opinion. They do not speak what they have just read. They talk around the topic and they try to convince with what they feel should have been according to the question. They usually are very smart in answering open-ended questions where there is no right or wrong, but they have a story to narrate with an example next to it, with the name of a person, with a character in it, with a conflict and a resolution. So it's an entire comprehension and comprehending format of letting the other person know what exactly they want to translate. They usually talk when they start talking. Usually you'll see a pattern in which they will talk. They may be a little slow speaker. They may start a little slow, but they will have a beginning, they will have a middle, and they will have an end, which is absolutely not trained by anyone, but generated with the curiosity of reading. Because as all the eminent guests just now spoke, that reading allows the child to go ahead as a habit. I would like to request and also ask the leaders, let the child know why they should read. Because when a why is given to the child, the purpose of that entire book and the child, the gap in between, reduces. They know now why they have to read it. They have to narrate the story, like you said. But what if the story has to be a character where the child is the main hero of the story? So the child will now try to bring in a lot of component around that story, because now the child is the hero in the story. And if that child reads a book, they will try to mimic the hero of that story, and they will like to let you know more about it. I'm talking about primary children, Rajendra sir, because when with
But
primary
wonderful, ma'am.
children,
This idea never struck me, and I'm sure that it will work miracle.
it does work. Like
Agree.
there was a wonderful program of the British Council called as 100 Programs, for which me and 4 eminent principals were the trainers, which actually said that try to narrate a story like Mahabharat or Ramayana or a fairy tale in 10 words. And children start reading the book, they understand the entire book, and whatever number of pages it has as per the minimum level of learning, like if it is a nursery child or it's a KG child or one child, give them a booklet of 5 pages, and you will see when they read it, now they want to bring it to 10 words, where a team is there to let them know not more than 10 words, but we can add music to it, we can add another subject to it, we can have a dance in it, and let's try to narrate the whole thing in 10 words, where the rule is that the teacher is not going to judge their language. He's going to just let them know that I want the beginning, I want the end. And how you do that, it's absolutely up to the team. So when they do it with 10 words, now she says expand it to 20 words, you get a freedom. This team does not get a freedom. You start another 10 words again. And slowly they reach to 100 words. And the 100 words is an annual day in the class, where the entire team of 5 to 6 children narrate the entire story, whatever the number of pages it may be. But then you will see their essence in it, because they need to narrate that entire book with those limited number of words, with making the entire class happy about it, because they love to see a smile on the face of a child. And when they enact it, when they do it, you will see that the children, you will not be asking them to do anything. You just need to say, okay, who's going to do the next story? Similarly, we had another program where we had children to do treasure hunt, which looks such an easy task. But when you do a treasure hunt, you write that go to the library, Almira number 3, book number 7, page number 28. There's a line on the 3rd paragraph, and then go back and find where the line is, what will it lead you to. Children run, unknowingly they're opening a book, they're opening a page, they're reading a sentence, they didn't understand, they talk to the team says, this means this, and they open a dictionary maybe, but then they eventually understand the meaning of that line, and they realize the concept of linking one book to another and reaching out to a conclusion, which is the hard task and planning of a teacher.
Yeah, it
How
is
much ever we try to say, okay, fine, you read this book, I would never read it if somebody tells me to read it. Because if I'm
That's
not
great.
doing the
unless
purpose,
and until they decide.
I don't know what am I going to get out of it, I'll never read it. So this
That's
is how
great idea.
I would like to add few things to reading
Very
habits.
true, ma'am.
That's great. That's great, ma'am. And because this is the best way to give, to have a reading habit with a child. And when you grow up these things, they get excited and they do it on their own level. They want to do it again and again. You will stop them. That must you have done a lot. That's great. Sir, this is a very good topic, and 1 hour time is to very less, and we have to speak on this so much is there to speak on this. And I'm very happy that we are taking only those topics where you don't need to have a written thing. And other, other webinars and all we have to do is that we have to something written. This thing we have to speak about. So here, these are the common topics where we have to talk from our mind and mind and heart. That's it. I mean, everything that the feelings come from us that yes, this is what we are doing it. Yes, this is also we do. Like Priti ma'am said, the new things. Rajan sir, you said that this is a new thing you have told us. This is all about this show that we share the ideas. We are here. Nobody is 100%.
Yeah.
We are intellectuals at our own level, and we are sharing our ideas. And when we are sharing our ideas, we are getting from everyone. And we are getting everyone, we are becoming a competent. That's great. Priti ma'am, you have given and added so much that we are very grateful to be over here. And because you have been short of time, sir, Sahu sir, will you like to add in very short about this?
Yeah, thank you so much. I was wondering, thinking about all the statement made by learned panelist of today.
Sir, actually the thing is, sir, Sahu sir, out of SLRW, we are talking about reading, but we are also learning about listening also.
Right.
We have to keep patience with us also.
It's a learning evening for me.
As a principal, we have to keep patience and we have to listen to everyone. That is also a big quality. When we are doing it, then only we'll be able to give it to the children also.
What I mean to discuss regarding what Kirti ma'am told and Rajendra sir told all about who will be the responsible person, really to whom we should give the responsibility to give priority in developing that reading skill, reading habit. Absolutely, Kirti ma'am is right that we can give much priority to the parent as children are getting much time to spend with them in the family environment. She is right from her perspective. Rajendra sir, I appreciate his statement that he told teachers are the real stakeholder who can guide this activity in a guided manner. Okay, we have to see the moderate path before going into any stakeholder, may it be a teacher or family members. We have to see whether environment has been created for the child and child has been directed, his interest, his attitude has been directed towards reading or not. Suppose in a family, I'm telling you, suppose a child, when a child is observing his grandfather reading the same newspaper whole of the day, hours and hours, sipping the tea from time to time, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening also, same newspaper the grandfather is reading. While the grandmother is sitting in the guard's room reading the religious scripture. Mother is taking out kitchen books on different recipe and reading and cooking. And father, when he is going to the bedroom just before sleeping, taking a book or magazine and stretching himself for 15 minutes just to look at the magazine or the news of the day. If such kind of habits are there, that means the family member, everyone has been a reader, keeping the practice of reading. Such kind of environment will lead the child to think about the activities of each family member. And I'm sure in almost all families today, we can see such kind of habit, those who are living in a particularly joint family. It is the most important benefit of joint family where we find educated grandparent. And this grandparent can be the real source of inspiration to the children, and they can inspire the grandchildren in such a way that teachers can never do. Teachers can never do.
It flows from generation to generation, sir. Right, absolutely right. Absolutely right, sir.
If my grandfather is reading the newspaper, what he is reading the same newspaper since morning 7 o'clock till 7 p.m. in the evening. What my grandmother is doing inside the God's room, nobody is there, sitting hours and telling beads or reading the religious scripture. Every time my mother is cooking, but keeping a book, looking at and doing something. If a small child, definitely it will hit the mind.
And is
And
there, sir? What I sum up with your saying is that it all depends upon the family atmosphere also.
yes,
And it
that
goes
environment has to be created.
Yeah, and also it goes from generation to generation.
Right.
That is for sure. That is for
Right.
sure. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so
Sahu,
much.
sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll come up to the Dr. Divya Basin, ma'am. Very precise, we like to know that why is reading necessary to become a totally global citizen? Please share your views.
Sir, as such, with the advent of technology, the world is slowly shrinking. And as far as being the global citizen is concerned, I think it's a mutual give and take. And if you really want to be be a part of the world, then definitely we need to go to different places. But as such, it's not possible to visit and see and meet different people there. So, but the only thing that we can do is read. Ultimately, I think I have just given one word that if we read about different places, different cultures, different areas of the world, then definitely we can feel to be a part of the global community.
That's great, ma'am. Thank you so much. Coming back to Sochitra, ma'am, we'll sum up with your views that now you have told that you have a Club 1 PR program, we have Freedom app, and there are now 2,500 plus stories with all the different fiction and everything, everything there. The child can read, and you come to know that how many minutes the child has read, as well as the class teacher. We'll also come to know that which class is doing better. And how can the parents check, ma'am?
So the app is personalized to every child. So the parent can check because, right now, especially after the pandemic, a lot of parents have suddenly become aware of this concept called screen time. And they have, suddenly realized that, oh, my child is spending too much time on the screen. They're watching TV. Now school is also online. So through the app, what we do is there is a section on the app where the parent themselves can track how much time the child has been spending on the app and what the child has been doing in all this time. Like, sometimes a child is interested only in stories. A child is interested only in activities. So the app also shows the, parent that, okay, your child is only doing activities, but not reading any stories or not reading any news articles. So the parent can take that to encourage the child to read more stories. Maybe sit down with the child and read a story with the child. So it gives the parent that information on the app itself. Every parent can see it on their app itself.
As well as you're giving the training to the teachers also, I think this is also free of cost.
Yes, sir. So through the program, the Freedom app is sort of a tangible thing that we provide to the schools. In addition, we also do, a lot of the panelists have spoken about storytelling. So we firmly believe in storytelling. So through the Club 1 VR program, we do storytelling sessions for the students where we follow this, practice of they get 90% of the story, and then we tell them that, okay, to find out how the story ends, you have to head over to the app, and this is the name of the story. Find the story and find out how the story ends. So we do a storytelling session for the children. We have workshops for the teachers. We also do workshops for parents. If the school is interested and they ask us to do a workshop for the parents so that we can explain to the parents why this is a necessary skill for their child, and a few tips and tricks on how they can inculcate a reading habit in their child. We do those workshops also. And all these workshops are free of charge. There's no cost.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much, Sochitra ma'am, for giving the insightness about your Freedom app and all. And I think it will be helpful for all of us. It is very helpful, as I'm also using it. Is very helpful for the children and all. And I think that's the end of the session, because a lot of time we have taken, and we would have got more time to talk about reading more. And I hope to see you all again. And thank you so much, every one of you, Rajendra, Divya ma'am, Avirup sir, and Sochitra ma'am, Kirti ma'am, and Priti ma'am for coming into the sessions and giving your valuable time to us. Thank you so much, and good luck and goodbye.
Thank you,
Thank
you
Chandok
very much,
sir.
sir.
It was so
Thank you,
free
sir.
talking. It was so free talking. Rightly said. We talked from our heart, from the bottom of our heart.
Absolutely
Right.
right.
And we shared so happily with each other, and it was an immense pleasure. Immense
Thank
pleasure.
you.
I
Thank
had
you,
been
ma'am.
to so
Thank you.
many shows, but I had never felt so free. And I otherwise normally it is always sometimes you get bound to certain topics and certain things. I have never felt so free the way freely there was flow of conversation here in this show. Thank you, sir. Thank you for organizing.
Thank you
this.
so much, ma'am. Thank you so
Really
much.
wonderful
Thank
evening. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
thank you,
everyone.
sir.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir, madam, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so
ma'am.
much, sir.
Thank you, Preeti, ma'am. Thank you, sir.